this, men of that. Have you ever met a girl before?
I want you to know, I hate animals. I hate their stupid little faces, I hate the way they make me feel. Every time I see a cat, I want to punch it in its dumb little nose.
Hey, what are you doing in here? I said don't come in here when we're recording.
But apparently, even with all this rage towards animals, I'm not the biggest hater of animals in the world. That honor goes towards the organization PETA, otherwise known as the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. They are an alleged charity, but they're just kind of a glorified pet killing ring, whose activism doesn't really do anything to help the animals that they allegedly care about, and kind of just do shock stunts to grab the public's attention for a few minutes, without actually affecting any change. And speaking of one of those stunts, have you ever wanted to own a purse made out of an old person's human skin? If you said yes, that's incredibly troubling. But at least you'll have the opportunity to do so once the president of PETA dies. Because the Cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs lady wants a bunch of wild stuff done to her body after her death. Ingrid Newcook's unique will details the PETA's founder and president's final will and testament. And yes, that's that leathery bat right there. Newcook does not dwell on money or property. It does designate the bestowing of gifts to others, albeit in rather gruesome, unexpected, and poignant ways. Carve out and sear some of my flesh for a human barbecue. Newcook always says that when it comes to feelings, a rat is a pig, is a dog, is a boy. If you wouldn't carve out a chunk of a person's flesh and throw it on the grill, why would you do the same to any other living being? To be honest, I wouldn't have a problem eating human meat a little bit, but I can guarantee you wouldn't be my first choice. You know, like how some women have crazy high opinions of themselves, and men too, where they're just kind of mid-looking, but somehow see themselves as the Egyptian queen of the Nile? Well, Ingrid has a bit of that complex if you ask me. My love, if I had to choose a person to eat, I'm eating Ryan Gosling's nutsack, because I know that shit will melt in my mouth, whereas you are probably just pure fat. 2. Peel off my skin for the first voluntary lizard skin purse. No animal has ever willingly give his or her skin for a leather handbag, and nobody would be willing to touch yours. I think that's the grossest part, because you can see how like wrinkly and haggard it is. 3. Dismember my legs and fashion them into human umbrella stands. That's not what it will be used for. Dude, that just takes one degenerate, a kitchen glove, and a couple of sponges. And then we got the Ingrid Foot Juicy. 4. Scoop out and mount an eyeball to watch over the Environmental Protection Agency. When it comes to animal testing, the EPA has been one of the worst offenders. Just like how PETA is one of the worst offenders of animal murder. Newcook wants to keep her eye on the agency until it gives up to cruel practices and chooses to use a range of more accurate non-animal methods available. 5. Deliver my pointing finger to Ringling Bros and Brunin Bailey Circus. Again, just takes one degenerate, man. Then we got the Ingrid Kapuki. That's kind of metal though, not gonna lie. 6. Vacuum pack my liver for the use in the human foie gras dish for the French. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody hates the French, which is fair enough, they deserve it. But that is so weirdly specific. I can guarantee every country in the world slaughters like millions and millions of animals a day. She just kind of has this one weird fixation on the French. No, fuck you guys, and fuck you guys for killing all these animals, but especially fuck the French. Que en vous no fait? Existing. Ah, oui, juste. Dun 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 dun. Hambadiha, and then I smell like a shit. 7. Chop off my ears and fashion them into human hearing aids. PETA will send one of Newcook's ears to the Canadian Parliament to encourage its members to hear the screams of animals who are skinned alive for the fur trade. Okay, that's just not true. I don't know why animal activists always say that. It is way more harder to get fur off a living animal. Like, if you try and sear it off while they're alive, it will just get messy and you won't be able to cut properly because it'll be wiggling. And then obviously it's going to put a strain on the actual leather or whatever fur you're getting off itself. Stupid ass. Her other ear will go to the Durner slaughterhouse in Mumbai to remind the world that the animal's blood-curdling screams don't stop at the slaughterhouse walls. 8. Sever a thumb and mount it as a thumbs up plaque. Newcook wills her thumbs up award to the greatest champion of animal rights this year, following her death. Well, sure as shit not going to anyone in your organization. 9. Mount my other thumb to create a thumbs down plaque. Conversely, Newcook wants her thumbs down awarded to whoever most egregiously threatens or harms animals in the year after her death. You don't even need to detach that one, just keep it. Then bury a piece of my heart at the Hohenheim racetrack. Newcook is a huge fan of F1 racing, and in particular Michael Schumacher, who helped her write letters for PETA's campaigns in the past. Oh, that's a bummer. Dude, I love Schumacher. Also, it upsets me that she actually watches F1 too. Kind of makes my skin crawl, the idea that I'm enjoying the racing and she's around the globe watching it too. 11. PETA can use the rest of my my body in any way that draws the attention to animal suffering. And that's the end of her list. You might think I'm being overly critical of her. Like, I get it that she wants her message to be that even after death, I'm still doing good by animals. But seriously, if you just look up PETA's practices, your stomach will turn at the hypocrisy and just how drastically ineffective they actually are. I'm gonna highly recommend the Illuminati. I can resist this. Still that bit of 2010 internet in me. But no, she's a really amazing content creator that makes in-depth videos on different topics. And she has a whole bunch on them. I'm gonna be real with you, I am shattered. So I think I'm overdoing that. Legally, you have to subscribe. Fucking good in the fuck juicy. And I love you all. Bye-bye.